Guys, Mike here with True Trading Group, May 7th. The streak's still alive. Finished the day today with an excellent little trade here in BLNK. It wasn't really a little trade, but I was coming into the day being a little bit more conservative, being more disciplined. I was going to be taking profits a little bit quicker just because I want to make sure that I lock that green day and I keep that streak alive. And I only traded BLNK today. It was the only stock that I traded. But I also want to catch up because I realized on Friday in chat, and obviously all of our members, you guys already know about this, but on Friday I opened up a swing trade position that I'm still holding on to. Have not sold any piece of it, but I'm going to go over that with you also because there's a really good it's a good setup on the swing trade. It's on APRN, and there's like 5 different things that I'm going to cover with you on that APRN setup and why, to show you and explain to you why I decided to take a swing trade on APRN. I'll go over with you my my entry and also obviously where I'm planning on taking profits and what my target is on that trade. I'll also talk to you a little bit about how long I expect to hold on to this position for, and we'll get into that a little bit later in the video. So first, let's get into BLNK. Really, the only thing that was really moving today, the only thing that was really getting people's attention or getting people excited was this BLNK. There really wasn't that much else going on. What I want to, let's pan this out so you can see a little bit more clear, okay, is this BLNK. So here we go, guys. This is kind of like that double bottom gap up pattern that I like so much, is when a stock gaps up in the morning and then finds support in the middle of the gap, okay? You can see like we find support mid-gap, put in a little bit of a double bottom, and then get an increase in volume as we break above VWAP. Now, this volume bar was an increase in volume as we broke above VWAP, but it immediately got halted as soon as it printed the new high of the day. We halted here, a volatility halt. Otherwise, this volume bar would have been much bigger on the breakthrough VWAP and the breakthrough the high of the day, but we were halted. Okay, I did not get in on this candle. Okay, this happened too quick. I wasn't paying attention to BLNK at the moment. By the time my scanners went off, you know, I wasn't quick enough. I wasn't able to get in before the halt. But I was watching this BLNK saying, okay, well, now let's look for another entry once trading resumes. All right. Now let me pan over a little bit more. And I want you to notice that once trading resumed, the initial morning high, this area that was showing us resistance in the morning, now started to hold support. Okay. And the other thing I want you to take notice of is how strong the volume was once we came out of that halt. That was a lot of us, over, you know, close to 2 million shares that came in as soon as trading resumed on BLNK. It immediately pulled all the way back down to retest that previous high, which is the initial morning high, and it held. Now, this is a 3-minute candle, but within this 3-minute candle, it came down and it was testing that level probably at least 3 times with some heavy volume. And once I saw that level and that area was starting to hold, that's when I jumped in this candle at $2.51. Take it to my trade announcements. Here we are, guys, at 10:15 a.m. Long BLNK at 251, setting a mental stop loss around 225. Okay, why 225? We'll take you back to the chart. VWAP was working its way up towards that 225 area, and I figure this is a volatile stock. It's thin, and I was going to look for just give it a little bit of slippage. This previous high was like 235. And they had VWAP coming in the back doors. That's why I was setting my stop around 225. Okay, you can see we never pulled back down towards that area, never even got close to it. Okay, and then we start to break out and push, and this BLNK was just kind of, you know, it was history after that. Just real big, strong push action here, steadily increasing volume on the way up. Exactly what you want to see. That's a little bit of a clue. The stock is going to push when you see consistently strong volume and increasing volume and consistent volume. That's a sign that the stock is going to push, and that's exactly what BLNK did, was push. Once it broke through that 275 area, not even a single pullback up to 425 before it got its first pullback I'll take you back to my trade announcements. Took some profit off at 260, took more profit off 270, final take profit at $3 for a 20% gain. So it was a great trade. My final take profit was right here, but I left a lot on the table. All right, you can see how much I left on the table there on that BLNK, and that's okay. I'm very happy with the trade. I'm happy with the 20% gain on the trade. But if I wasn't in defensive mode, I wasn't back in like first or second gear, maybe I hold on to a piece of this position for a little bit longer. But nonetheless, I'm not upset with a 20% gain, even though I left a decent chunk of change on the table with that BLNK. I'm still very happy with the trade. Okay, and it all goes back to that initial morning high. Okay. Next, let's get into the swing trade setup. Okay, APRN. Okay, here's APRN, guys. My entry on Friday was right here at $2.42. Okay, I am long APRN from $2.42 for a swing trade with a target around $3. Okay, now let me take you to the daily chart to walk you through the setup and why I got long APRN for a swing trade. The first thing I want you to take notice of is a reverse head and shoulders pattern on APRN. Okay, here's your left shoulder, here's your head, here's your right shoulder, and then there is your neckline. Okay, on Friday, we had pushed through that neckline on nice strong volume and closed and held above the neckline. That's why I decided, once I saw that break, I decided that I was going to get long, use that area as my stop loss if we fall back below that neckline area. That could be the stop loss on the trade. I'm going to look for the stock to start to push and start to extend away from that neckline. Okay, that was the first thing that I noticed on APRN. The second thing I want you to notice, let me go back and delete the reverse head and shoulders pattern, because there's a lot to like about this setup, is the 50-day moving average, the blue line you see on my screen, was previously a nice little area of resistance for APRN. Well, when you look back here on May 3rd, we broke through that 50-day, closed above it on real strong volume, and then the following day, on Friday, on May 4th, is the day that I ended up getting long at 242. Okay, there's a second thing we got working in our favor. We've got that 50-day moving average, broke above it, closed above it. Now we're pushing away from it on good volume. This is good, nice, strong volume. So that's the third thing we've got in our favor, is strong volume as the stock is moving higher. Okay. The next thing I want you to notice, I'm going to have to get rid of the volume to do this, is the MACD indicator. This is the MACD indicator, guys. Okay, I use the MACD a lot when it comes to swing trading. Okay, there's a lot of different ways you can use the MACD. There's signal line crossovers, zero line crossovers, bullish divergence, bearish divergence. There's a lot of different ways to use a MACD, and there's a couple of different things that the MACD is telling me right now with this APRN setup. And the first thing I'm going to bring to your attention is bullish divergence. Okay, what do I mean by bullish divergence? Notice how the share price of APRN is decreasing during this time period, while on the flip side, the value of the MACD indicator, the teal line on my screen, is actually increasing during that same time period. Okay, so share price is decreasing, MACD value is increasing. That is considered bullish divergence. Okay, we also had a signal line crossover right here, where the MACD crossed over the signal line. We then also have a zero line crossover, where the MACD indicator crosses over the zero line and goes into positive territory. Okay, the last time APRN was above the zero line was all the way back here in January, when the stock was trading at $3.75. Okay, now we're down here. We were down there around 240, 242 when I entered the trade, when we had first crossed over that zero line. Okay, so when you see this bullish divergence in the MACD indicator, like you see here, that could sometimes be an early sign that a trend is about to change. Okay, that's what I like to use the bullish divergence in the MACD for, is trying to identify a trend is about to change. And that's what I think we have going on in APRN. The other thing that I want you to take notice of is now the RSI. Okay, let's go to the RSI. Here's the RSI. Same thing, bullish divergence in the RSI. Share price of APRN is decreasing. Meanwhile, the value of the RSI is actually increasing. Okay, and we were already down in oversold territory. So now we have bullish divergence in the MACD, and we also now have bullish divergence in the RSI. Okay, the only thing that I want to point out to you guys that I do not like about this APRN is what the RSI is doing now. Okay, you can see how the share price is now increasing. Okay, and the stock actually made a new high compared to its previous high, this 225 area. But look at the RSI. Okay, that is sometimes could be seen as a sign of weakness. Okay, so I just wanted to point that out to you. The thing that I do not like about the RSI, I would have much rather have seen the RSI, do something like this today. Okay, and actually get above this previous high, to kind of coincide with what I'm seeing in the price action. But we'll see. We'll see. Maybe that starts to work its way higher a little bit later, deeper into this trade. But it's the only thing that I really don't like about this APRN setup, and it's that value, that RSI not breaking its previous high like the share price did, because we got that in the share price. We also got that in the MACD. You can see the MACD consistently making higher highs as it climbs higher, just like the share price. I just wish the RSI would follow suit. Okay, and that's really it, guys. That's the setup in APRN. I think it's a nice looking setup. Oh, my target's $3. Let me go back. I'll show you why $3. It's very clear. You can very clearly see this previous major support area at $3. Okay, so I'm looking for out of this reverse head and shoulders pattern, bullish divergence MACD, bullish divergence RSI, 50-day moving average. I'm looking for a move up to test this $3 area, and that's where I'll be looking to take my profits off on APRN. Okay, so again, I'm long from $2.42 from Friday. APRN, guys, looking for a move up to $3. I would not be surprised if we got maybe a slight red day tomorrow in APRN. It's gone up 3 days in a row here on some strong volume. Maybe needs a day or two to kind of take a breather and relax before it makes an attempt on that resistance level. So if we get a little bit of a pullback tomorrow in APRN, it's not going to worry me. It's not going to panic me. I want to see 245 hold support. And then I really won't feel any differently about the trade if we get a pullback or a little bit of a red day tomorrow. Okay, so looking for $3 on APRN. I'll keep you guys updated as the trade unfolds. The streak is still alive. I'll see you guys in chat tomorrow. Take care.